This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
Pressure, two inside backers come down the sideline. Romeo Dobbs a touchdown.
Hang on. Love to Watson to a one-score game.
Hey, this is Ahman Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher. Bill, the Packer fan and Packer owner, Nick. They run a website for Packer news and updates, and I know Packer news hasn't been so great lately because we got some players that are not Packers anymore that you loved at one time, but you might hate a little bit right now.
Two great running backs. We have a competent offensive line.
He's saying that he felt in November and December that they didn't want him back.
Get a little safety in that position. Either we go.
There's no reason to believe we can't return, but.
And they already came out. There's a couple guys that came out today. Rodgers is telling the
solution of it, and don't let them go for anything under than one.
And you know what, Packer fans? The Bears still suck. So go Pack Go, and good luck to Bill and Nick, their website and their Packer news. Talk to you later.
It's a lot easier to come in and keep doing mop-up duty, but he threw the ball off. He kind of looked like Aaron Rodgers the way he was throwing the ball sidearm and just flicking the ribs, and the ball was just jumping out of his hands. Agreed.
Hey everybody, this is Gerhard de Beer, former Green Bay Packer offensive lineman, and you're watching Frozen Tundra Network with Bill the Packer fan and Packer owner Nick.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Frozen Tundra Network. We got a very special show for you today. We got my own father. His name is DeLoss Green, a wonderful, amazing athlete, great father, great grandfather. This guy does it all, I promise you. But before we get to his story, let's talk a little bit about, some football, right? Right, guys? So, since he is I'm gonna go ahead and point out he's a Warriors fan, he's a Sharks fan, he's an A's fan, he is a Raiders fan. He is Bay Area to the T, loyal to the Bay Area. Let's start talking a little bit about the Las Vegas Raiders. It'd be cool to hear from you, D, what you think the Raiders should do in their unique position where they got Gardner Minshew. They went and got one of the best defensive tackles you can have in the whole NFL right now. The defense is looking better. You got Antonio Pierce. You made him your head coach. So what's the next move at this point? Draft day is on Thursday.
Yeah, well, we history hopefully doesn't repeat itself, but we've, and we haven't really been looking forward to the draft because of that. Being disappointed as we have in the past, but with the changes that have happened, we actually are optimistic. Gardner Minshew, what a great pickup! I believe he's young. He's got that mentality. Max Crosby really likes him. They're gonna be entertaining.
You guys are gonna hit him.
We lost a great running back. But he went.
Where did he go?
He went to a great situation for him and for the team he's going to be with.
Joe said he's dead to him. If you know Joe, there he is.
Joe said Josh Jacobs is dead to him.
Joe said Josh Jacobs is dead to him.
Well, we got that kid from Georgia, the running back who proved himself last year. And with a little help on the offensive line, which is what I think we need to focus on. We do have a really good receiving core. Our cornerbacks have played a lot better. Our defense has gotten a lot better.
Your defensive line.
Our offensive line, though, is and always has been. You watch
Did Isaac just say J.K. Dobbins? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, I was thinking of the Chargers right now.
I'm like, dude, I'm gonna boot you. Like,
like Washington or somebody. Who's your?
You guys got Zeus, right? White, who you guys are expecting to be a number one back at this point.
Yes.
You also got Alexander Madison from the Vikings, who, let's be honest, he's not a number one back. He's a really good number two back, though. I can say that.
He's good size. He's good size. He can he can block. Maybe pick up that third
convert him to a fullback. Convert him to a fullback.
If I'm being honest. To shed some light on what we're talking about, Joe.
Black.
Joe just started talking to me about these articles, which I did look up and I started reading them before the show, about how Jaden Daniels' agent is coming out talking for Jaden Daniels, talking about how he doesn't like the way that the Commanders are operating. It kind of looks like he doesn't want to be a Commander. Maybe he's taking his draft stock. Antonio Pierce is a huge reason why where he went, there's influence there. So Joe was the one that proposed before all this happened that the Raiders should trade with the Commanders the farm. Get Jaden Daniels, and then maybe you guys could move forward after that.
Oh, Jaden Daniels is a proven product. He's a, he's got the arm, he's got the feet, which you need, especially with it's Oakland Raiders to me. So I'll call them the Raiders. The Raiders' offensive line lately has proven that you have to have a running quarterback. So he fits that bill. He fits that bill, but he's also got the good arm and the mentality. He's smart. He can he makes plays on the fly, and if we do land him, wow! Finally, we did some. We drafted someone that we can look forward to. I do like the two we have at QB right now, knowing that our defense is going to be playing well this year. So.
Yeah, but Minshew is definitely a bridge quarterback, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually a good thing. As Packers fans, we know what it's like to have a guy sit behind a vet, learn, get better, develop, and then get thrown in when you're ready, right? So I'm going to let Joe real quick talk about this situation that we just got done talking about with Jaden Daniels and the Raiders. I'll go ahead and let you shine the light on that, Joe. And then after that, I'll ask you a few more questions, all right?
So basically, his agent has come out and said that both Jaden Daniels and the agent are not really happy with the pre-draft process from the Commanders. I guess the Commanders had him in for a visit, and they in some way made him believe like that it was like a personal visit. It was just going to be him. But apparently they brought in a bunch of other people too, and he just didn't like the way the whole situation went, and he wasn't a fan of it.
Special. Didn't make him feel special.
Second is like this is the second thing that he's already come out and said, because shortly after the combine, Jaden Daniels' agent said that he didn't feel like the interview process went well with the Commanders during the combine, and that he didn't expect to be drafted by them. And now here we have another thing. I think it's interesting, and I think, if I'm being honest, I think he's trying to tank his draft stock so he can slide a little bit, because I think he knows where he wants to go, and it's not the Commanders, it's not New England, it's not Minnesota. Like, he has one specific place in mind, and I think he's thinking that if he can drop a few spots, these guys will go up and get him.
There you go. But you guys look, let the Bears
Can we
draft
be honest,
Williams.
guys? Can we be honest? Who wants to play for the Commanders these days? Like, let's be honest. Like, nobody.
Exactly.
I just found the article. It says written by Joseph Benavidez.
Oh, okay. That's the source right there. I'm going to ask you a question, D. And I know that us Packers fans, this is the question that we want to hear what your answer is. What do you think about Jordan Love?
Oh, I like the kid. I mad respects when they played the 40 Winers in the NFC game. And
all the way up to the last minute.
I wish he would have had the ball at the end.
If Anders Carlson didn't miss his kicks, we would have. I mean, we didn't need the ball at the end, right? Like,
I think that's him and his brother have the same thing.
Well, let's hope it's just 1 year with Love.
But Jordan Love really he came on, especially that game where they were losing big time in the second half. He tore it up.
Are you talking about the Saints game where we were down 17-0 in the fourth quarter? Jordan Love brought us to 18 points to win the game against Derek Carr and the Saints.
He's got that cool. He learned that cool from somewhere. Probably not a bad thing to sit on the bench and learn from a Hall of Famer how to play the game the correct way. And he learned that. He didn't panic. He just did his thing. He knew put the ball in his hands and things are going to happen, and he made them happen. And he
Joe's about to say something I'm really not going to like, but go ahead.
I think my favorite Jordan Love game was when he threw 3
against the
picks
Raiders
to
when he threw 3 interceptions. Yeah, I already know what you're going to say. We're blocking that out of our memory. All right.
You know,
it was a good game. I mean, it wasn't
anyone before that game for the past 30 years.
That was early.
Jordan Love needed to learn, man. He learned a lot.
Even Joe comes on the morning show and says how much he likes Jordan Love, so I'm not worried
The
about
best part of that game was when he fucking stiffed arm fucking Crosby.
Yeah, that was pretty good when he put Crosby on his ass. Little.
So,
I think Crosby put him on his ass a few times in that game too, didn't he?
Oh, you're right. But so it's fair. It's fair. It just looks bad when a quarterback puts you on your ass. When you're.
Let's be honest. Crosby tormented Love that game.
He did.
Oh yeah, bro. It was straight up. I swear to God, he was in our huddle. He knew every play.
So D, have you been reading all these articles where Devontae Adams is saying how much he wants to go back to the Green Bay Packers? He doesn't want to be in Las Vegas.
I haven't seen anything or heard anything.
Yeah, because those articles don't exist.
Nick, we'll just have to make sure.
I've seen and heard, it sounds like he's happy where he is. He got the coach he wanted. He was interested. You know, he had a big part of that, and I think the Raiders are doing the best they can to keep him happy. But it's going to be nice to get somebody that can actually get him the ball.
I think the stash could get him the ball too, man.
Did you hear the new rumor that's coming out just recently? The new rumor comes out saying that the Raiders are going to trade their first-round pick for Clifford.
Yeah, there we go.
So look, if you remember, Joe, Ken, Rob, everybody that's on the morning shows, months and months ago, I actually proposed that the Raiders or the Vikings, for example, should get Gardner Minshew, draft a quarterback this year, and bridge him. Like, that was my suggestion. It's starting to feel like more and more teams are probably going to be more accepting to the idea of sitting your brand new quarterback and letting him learn behind a veteran guy.
Yeah. 3 decades of great quarterback play tells everybody that's probably what they should be doing.
So what happened in Indianapolis?
It's like that meme where
they drafted a great quarterback, that kid, and then he's
Anthony Richardson.
Gone. Yeah,
it looks like that meme where Mr.
You know, I think they need to do that, and that's happened all through history of football. Raiders
That's what I was getting at. You've watched football for a very long time. Green Bay's been doing this for a long time, the way that they've been doing it.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, it stopped in the 90s. Like in the late 90s, it just stopped. Why?
I think money probably had a lot to do with it. You used to draft guys and they sat on the bench and watched from the veterans, but now these guys are getting drafted. They're making more money than the veterans are.
But that's what's crazy to me is, like, even though you're paying your brand new quarterback, like Caleb Williams is going to get a huge contract to start out, right? But why is it not a logical thing anymore to sit him behind, for example, I don't know, Fitzmagic, right? Just for example, or Baker Mayfield. Let's put it like that. Let him learn.
He's not going to be around to get drafted by that type of team. He's going to go right to a team that the quarterback's vacant and they don't have anybody there.
That's a good point. That is true.
That's why the Bears shed their weight. They got rid of Fields, man, to open that spot up. They're taking Williams no matter what.
Yeah.
But that's why it's so funny for us to watch Green Bay trade up, draft Jordan Love when we had Aaron Rodgers, and everyone goes, why would you do that? Oh, my God, you guys are crazy. Well, years later, you're sitting there going, well, maybe we weren't so crazy, right?
Well, you're planning for the future.
Yeah.
Well, one thing about it, when we moved up, that 4th pick was actually a free pick. So it was pretty much,
we're still pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't have to trade the house to move up, then it works.
I agree with Isaac. We're still a little crazy.
And one thing about it, I really think they're going to draft a quarterback in about the 3rd round.
I can see that in the 3rd.
Because you know what? The only reason why I agree with you, John Dorn, is because I could really see Clifford being a trade piece. I could see it, man.
Exactly.
Someone's going to want that kid.
They're going to showcase him this fucking preseason.
Quarterback. That's the new norm. We're keeping only 2 quarterbacks, so definitely someone has got to go.
So look, me and Joe just got done talking about. I know. On this show, we've talked about Jeremiah Trotter a lot. Last show, I said, the more I'm watching him, the less I actually like him. I'm actually starting to move towards the Edgerrin Cooper side. That guy is checking all the boxes for me. Whereas John Dorn pointed out last show, Jeremiah Trotter over pursues everything because he's so fast. He missed a lot of tackles because he over pursued. I'm not so sure that's the guy I want next to Quay Walker.
What you want is a guy who can tackle. We got guys who can tackle. I mean,
Edgerrin Cooper can tackle everybody and anybody. Okay.
When they got this new kickoff return, new rule, whatever. You got to tackle, man. That's one thing about it. You better have good tacklers, or you're gonna. Yeah.
Well, look, we got a new DC, bro. He's gonna make sure. I mean, the things that Barry lacked, like holding guys accountable and making them.
You mean being aggressive? That's the main thing that bothered me about him. He's not aggressive. Our new guy Halfley, he is aggressive. You can tell he wants to pound the gavel onto the table and make his own world. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's ready for it.
He wants to be number one in takeaways.
Yes. Last year, the second half of the year, again, like I said last show,
you got to be confident in your quarterbacks.
Yeah.
The last quarter of the year last year, we were taking the ball away. We were great at it. The first 3 quarters of the year, we had like 2 turnovers or something stupid like that. Like we just weren't doing shit.
Yeah, but Alexander wasn't playing either.
It started with the Lions when we forced 3 turnovers and we started just absolutely mauling people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, it took fucking LaFleur to take over the defense.
So look,
and get involved.
I've actually read that the Bears said that they're going to take Caleb Williams, but I've seen other articles by beat writers suggesting, they're not saying that this is going to happen. They were suggesting that Jaden Daniels is the more talented quarterback. What if the Bears take him? What if they flop on draft day?
Or what about Commanders and the Bears swap?
Yeah, that's what I meant. That makes more logical sense.
You know what I mean?
Old Drew Brees, Eli, that whole swap thing they did,
So
they each drafted them and then swap the quarterback the next play.
So since we're talking about the draft, I'll give it to Joe real quick. What's your ideal situation for the Raiders in the draft? What do you think you guys should do?
Well, ideally, I would like to get Jaden Daniels somehow. And my ideal situation would be that the Commanders don't take him at 2. And then, let's say they take Drake May. And then the Patriots decide not to take a quarterback. And he falls a little bit. And we could get him somewhere like, after 2 or 3 and save a little bit of draft capital. But ideally, I would like to get Jaden Daniels. But if that doesn't happen, if it's not possible, then I would like to take a tackle at 13 like Fuaga, and then a right tackle. And then I would like to trade back into the later part of the first round and get Penix. But I wouldn't want to draft Penix without taking a right tackle to cover.
It is possible that Joe Alt could actually fall to the back end of the top 10.
No way.
So you're thinking the Raiders are going to trade Adams for the second to Commanders to get that pick?
All going to be top 12, Joe.
I hear you, Rob. It's starting to look like, because of the needs of the teams that are in front of everybody, Joe Alt could actually fall to the back end of the top 10. He really could.
I think the Raiders should.
Goody would take him if he's there. You know that if he's there.
I think we should move up 3
Goody
spots
would take him
and draft the tight end from Georgia, Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers from Napa High School.
He can play both sides. He can play linebacker and.
Shit! He said you. Come on, bro. He played 2-way.
Brock Bowers went to the high school me and Joe went to.
He's an amazing kid. He's a good kid. He's a Napa boy.
Hey, you see how much Joe lit up when Brock Bowers mentioned?
Bro, because I'm telling you, Bowers is going to be the next Travis Kelce, bro. I really see it.
I believe it, bro. I believe it.
Yeah.
He's a big
I think
boy.
Brock Bowers is gone in the top 15 too. I'm telling you, man. Joe Alton, Brock Bowers, those are special talents. They're not gonna. As soon as they're done taking quarterbacks, wide receivers,
It's true. It's true that Bowers is that talented, but me and Joe are a little biased. So is my dad because he went to Napa High School and
that's what it is.
He's our new John Boyette.
You bunch of homers.
He's our new John Boyette.
Yeah.
So look.
He would look good in green and gold also.
Oh, here we go. Hey, man, is this Mike? Is this Mike, bro?
Here's the problem, though, Dad. He would look good in green and gold. The problem is we have 3 capable tight ends.
Yeah.
Green Bay would never draft it. Even if he's a generational talent, Green Bay is just not going that way.
Yeah.
What I'm looking for is to bring another Nick Collins in, you know what I mean, to sit next to McKinney.
Yeah.
We're looking for that safety. We're looking for another offensive lineman to We're looking for a linebacker to sit next to Quay Walker.
Well, you do need that. You do need that safety, especially if you're gonna start playing aggressive. You gotta have that safety that's gonna scare the shit out of those guys going across the middle.
Right? So we just got done talking about on the last show on Saturday how the last time we played 4-3 defense, we played high-low safety a lot because Nick Collins was the perfect guy to sit back as the high safety.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of good. Atari Bigsby was our low safety. So McKinney, I feel like, is a great low safety. If we can get a high safety for him in our 4-3 defense.
Yeah. You need that Ronnie Lott type that can come up and stuff the run.
Well, that's McKinney.
I'd much rather have McKinney safety.
I'll take a Ronnie Lott.
USC, baby.
Isaac, can you tell me the stat? McKinney missed, what was it, 1 tackle and 564 snaps or something like that?
Yeah, he had
He's also given up no touch.
543 snaps, 0 touchdowns allowed.
But he also only missed 1 tackle in that whole thing also.
Yeah, missed only 1 tackle. And that was because it was a broken play. That's what it was.
How many do the Owens have? How many Owens have?
A lot.
You hear that, Bearface? You hear that?
Good riddance to the Bears.
So look, guys, let's start highlighting the guest of honor. Joe's also a guest of honor. We love having him on the show whenever he wants to be on. My dad, the Lost Green, was an amazing athlete who actually almost made it to be a professional athlete as well. He was going to be in the draft. He's got a whole story about everything that happened. He went to Saguaro High School in Arizona. He ended up playing baseball for the University of Arizona, U of A. So I want you, Dad, to now shed some light for us what it's like to be at the top of your craft, to be that good at your sport, and just kind of, what are the emotions, what you go through when you're starting to talk to people and get through this when the draft's coming up, right? So go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it all, it starts when you're younger, when you're growing up, and back in the day, that's what you did. You played street football, you played wiffle ball, you played anything, kickball. I mean, even hide and go seek was competitive.
Hell yeah, man! I know that.
Hell yeah! It's like and you can tell who's competitive, and then that starts weaning out as you start moving up in your age and then in your grade, and then just having a love for sports. My dad gave me that. I had 3 older brothers who were athletes, and they taught me.
Real quick, Dad.
Yeah.
Real quick, I want to highlight that your dad used to make money and put food on the table by boxing. Is that correct?
Yeah. My dad, born on the Iowa reservation in Kansas, and he was in a situation where he, at 14, had to. His older brothers were away at college, and he had to do the work to feed my grandma and my aunts, who were his younger sisters, and he did various jobs. And one of them, he would box on the weekends in this little town in Nebraska called Fall City, and he would make like 50 cents, $1 a fight. And
wow,
and
really?
He was a bad man, but if you ever met my dad, you would have said he's the nicest man you ever met.
He was a good dude.
Everybody in Napa and in Arizona where we lived also was. They always ask me about my dad and talk about how he was a big influence on them. But
his favorite sport wasn't even boxing; it was Yahtzee.
Yeah, no, that was your Gigi.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So, and then my dad also played football back in the day. Leather helmets. Imagine in the
Leatherheads,
northeast corner of Kansas, the southeast corner of Nebraska. Back when it snowed. It seems like the way they say it snowed every day, even during the.
And that's when they really played two-way too back then.
Well, your dad walked 3 miles of school up a hill when it snowed. And
barefoot. Barefoot.
In moccasins.
In moccasins.
There you go, moccasins.
So, but he was a big influence. He made it a point that he took me to my first professional football game. In 1968, it was the Raiders against the New York Jets.
Ooh, okay.
And it became a famous game. It's called the Heidi game.
Did they have Namath in '68?
They did. And Joe Namath, Don Maynard, all those guys. I think that's the year they went to the Super Bowl.
That was the last time the Jets were great.
It was. It was. Yeah. Well, what happened was there was 2 minutes left. Jets were up by 10, and back east they cut the stream of the game off and put on the movie Heidi because they thought the Jets had won the game. The Raiders scored 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes to win the game. So when the New Yorkers woke up the next morning and read the paper, they were like in their best New York
social media.
Yeah, they were a bit surprised. And then my dad also took me to my first San Francisco 49er game at Kezar Stadium, and we saw them play in 1969, the Washington Redskins, coached by a gentleman whose name is on the Super Bowl trophy. It was Vince Lombardi's last year.
Vince Lombardi for the Redskins.
Yeah.
Right. And then he died like a year later. Yeah. So.
Was it Grandpa that took you to see Wilt Chamberlain also?
Yeah, in 1967 we saw the Philadelphia 76ers play the San Francisco Warriors at the Cow Palace in San Francisco. Wow. And
you got a program signed by Wilt Chamberlain,
I do. I've got Wilt Chamberlain on there, Rick Barry.
Probably worth like $100,000, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's only worth it if it's authenticated.
It is, because I signed it also.
That's where it goes down. That's your fan. That's your memories. God bless. It's priceless.
It's mine. Dad, it's probably going to get handed down to one of my granddaughters.
There you go.
No, your grandson. You got a grandson now. You got to think about that.
Oh shit.
So, Dad.
Yeah.
Start walking us through your high school days, like when you started to develop and you started knowing that maybe you were a top athlete in this whole country.
Well, I knew. I knew. So I've grown up. I played basketball, CYO basketball.
Not as good as me, by the way.
I happened to play on a really good team. We were Northern California champs 3 years in a row.
Maybe he was better than me. Maybe
we had a really good team, and I always played team sports. I wasn't an individual sports player.
There you go.
I grew up playing team sports. It was all about the team. I started playing football at a young age back then. I was actually played for the Napa Redskins, and I wore number 83 because my favorite player was Ben Davison. So I played quarterback wearing number 83. With those old those face masks, the ones they wore back in the day. I don't know if you ever saw.
Did you say quarterback or cornerback?
Quarterback.
Quarterback, right?
Quarterback and free safety.
So somehow you transitioned into a running back, right, and a safety.
Yeah, I played. Yeah, so in high school I played running back and actually I played in the slot also, but they made me. Well, I didn't play quarterback anymore because they wanted me on defense. They had me play.
Well, John Boyette played quarterback and played defense. Like you couldn't have done that.
I know. Well, he went to Napa High, so you know it was
better coaching.
This Trump's.
I don't know about that, but it was. So it was, you know, it was fun. I loved it. It was the camaraderie, being a part of the team, and doing your part. And then baseball was always my thing. Even though I loved basketball the most, I was a football and baseball player. And I knew baseball from when I was young. My brothers had me playing baseball at a very young age. And then I progressed early. And when I got into high school, the high school I went to was it was a baseball high school. And our guys, you know, it wasn't unusual for 3, 4, 5 guys to get D1 scholarships. We had guys getting drafted. We had guys playing in the pros. So it was really cool to be part of that. It was something to look forward to. We worked out year round. We played baseball year round, just for that opportunity because we knew we were going to be getting looked at. So it wasn't unusual. We would have scouts at our games, but we also had scouts coming to our practices. We had college coaches coming to our practices. My senior year, there was 4 of us that we did trips to colleges on weekends to go see. And we went to Texas, we went to Oklahoma, we went to Southern California, and that's where I ended up. I actually signed with San Diego State out of high school to play baseball. I would have played with Tony Gwynn. That would have been cool.
I remember you telling me that. Before you go further,
I wanted to sign with Pepperdine because they had the beautiful campus. Their field overlooked the Pacific Ocean, and the female male ratio was pretty good. So,
let me ask you real quick,
surfer girls.
Before we start getting into the part of the story that even I haven't heard as his son from my dad's mouth, I just want to ask you real quick. You went to Arizona at the exact same time Barry Bonds went to Arizona State. Did you ever meet Barry Bonds?
Yeah, I did, because my best friend, one of my best friends, went to ASU. He signed with ASU and played for Coach Brock up at ASU. And then Barry Bonds was like a year or 2 younger than us. And so we were up there visiting, and we were hanging out in the locker room with the guys and just shooting the shit. And Barry Bonds came in, and they all kind of rolled their eyes like, here's that fucking guy. They didn't really like him. He was imagine he was arrogant, right?
Let's be honest. He was an arrogant son of a bitch when he played for the Giants. Also, he refused to sign baseball.
He was an individual.
Steroids.
So,
you call it arrogance, someone's call it confidence.
No. What we're talking about is he wouldn't even interact with the fans. He was just really a very he didn't.
Bro, they paid him to play.
That's right. Well, I grew up watching his dad. Watching his dad play with
Bobby Bonds.
Yeah, Bobby Bonds. Talk about a great outfield. Bobby Bonds, Willie Mays, and then Ken Harrelson played.
And then Bobby Bonds went to Pittsburgh, where he played with Barry Bonds.
Probably, yeah.
They did. They played together for like 2 years.
Yeah, back when Barry was probably $180 and wore a 7 1/4 size hat.
Yeah, now his head's a football helmet.
But yeah, he was. But hell of an athlete. The kid was just amazing. So fluid. Him and what a time. Him, Ken Griffey Jr.
Ken Griffey, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire.
All those guys. Kirby Puckett. I mean, it was It was a great time. They kept baseball alive. People juice, but hey, you're going to pay consequences for that. But
I got one for you, Dad. Rafael Palmeiro, another guy that helped save baseball.
Yeah, he was a natural swimmer. I like the guys the Giants had. They had Will Clark and
Will Clark. JT Snow back in the day, Stan
Snow,
Javier,
whose dad played professional football for the Rams.
There you go.
Snow. Yeah.
So let's start getting into you're coming up in Saguaro High School, right? And you're talking about how you guys used to play baseball a lot. It was a baseball place to be. It wasn't rare to find a guy from your high school that was going pro, right? So you decided that you were going to go to San Diego State. So let's start progressing. What happened at that point?
Well, senior year, we got done playing. We lost in the semifinals of the state championship, which was very disappointing. But it's the end of your senior year, so you get over it quick. And so we graduate. Summer starts, and we're playing summer baseball. Now summer baseball's done, and I'm on this all-star team for Tucson, and we're getting ready to play a game. I forget who we're playing against, but we're playing at the University of Arizona, and we're driving to the game, and on the way there, a car turned in front of us, and we broadsided the car. I was in my buddy's, actually a 65 Chevy van. You probably heard songs about 65 Chevy vans, but and the radiator, the hood on the van was right between the passenger and driver's seat. I was in the passenger seat. The hood popped up and the radiator exploded. Imagine Tucson, July. It's 108, 110 out. And the radiator exploded, and I got burnt. I got scalded by the water. I was in my baseball pants. Back then, those pants were like polyester. And the pant actually, the water was so hot, the pant actually like melted onto my skin. And so I actually was able to get out of the car. I took off running. I guess I was in shock. Came back, sat down, started pulling my baseball pants off because they were all wet, and my skin peeled off with the pants. And so we were right in front of we were like a half mile from a hospital. Friends of ours were right behind us, and they got me in their car, drove me to the hospital, and next thing you know, I'm in the hospital for a month and a half. Having second and third degree burn. I had skin grafting done. Basically I had to learn how to walk again. Went from probably 165, trying to keep weight on, all the way down. I got down to like 120. Yeah, I look like.
And my dad's 6 foot, so 120 is skinny for him.
I look like Matthew McConaughey in that movie where he lost all that weight.
The Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah, but so that happened. While I'm in the hospital, the coach from San Diego State's like, well, you're not going to be playing this year, and we could use the scholarship, and so we lost the scholarship, and so I was, no, that wasn't a bad thing. I had to. I didn't want to. They didn't want me to rush what I was going to have to do, which was a lot of physical therapy, and so I ended up just enrolling in a school there at the University of Arizona, and after I got better, I went and talked to Coach Kendall at Arizona, who knew me because we played a lot at the University of Arizona, and I played against his son in high school, and so he was like, he said, hey, love to have you, come walk on, and let's see what happens. So that's where I what I did was I went and I walked on and ended up I played on the JV baseball team that they had, and spent a good time of that year playing baseball and doing all that, and then realizing that, you know what, because the University of Arizona and Arizona State, they were attracting like the best baseball players in the country, and seeing them and just realizing and having a really good time in college, because the University of Arizona is a pretty fun school. And so I decided I wanted to be a student, and so I thanked Coach for the year he gave me, and then I just became a student, and the rest is history. Came back home to Napa for a summer and met Nick's mom, and
I don't know why.
So it turned out really well. It was good, but the experience was great playing with some of the best, playing with and against some of the best athletes in the United States, watching them, being there, right there with the football team, the basketball team. Well, the basketball team at Arizona when I was there wasn't very good. I think they were. Like,
but then you left Arizona and they got really good.
I left and Lute Olson came in and everything changed. We went
Lute
from a baseball school to a basketball school.
My dad sent me to go be coached by Lute Olson for a program. Probably one of the best experiences I've ever had.
Yeah, we sent Nick there for a summer camp, and it was a good experience.
I gotta tell you, when I came back, I could shoot the three a lot better. So, man, talk about, you can kind of see the trajectory of your sports career kind of ripped from you in that moment. That's
I had a good time at playing football. I really liked it. I played against some guys that played professional football. I played against Ricky Ellison, who was a linebacker. When he was at Amphi High School, he started at USC as an inside linebacker as a freshman. And then I covered Vance Johnson, who became a wide receiver.
Remember Vance Johnson? I remember him. Yeah.
So it was So it was pretty cool. Tucson's a pretty good sized town.
Yeah. It's a pretty big place.
Pretty big place. So and there's a lot of good athletes that come out of there. So
something that my dad didn't talk about. He is, in my opinion, Hall of Fame worthy for the city of Napa as a basketball coach. He taught me everything that I know, and I got to coach a guy that just won 2 national championships. He's going to the NBA next year. That's all because of this man. He is just multi-talented. My dad taught me everything that I know, especially when it comes to basketball, because he loves basketball. So there is, my dad used to coach my teams, right? I'm not saying that I was influenced, but there was a guy that I played with also that went to the NFL. And I was playing for my dad's team, and I ended up tackling him into the bleachers during a basketball game. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Well, we knew the two of you could handle it, so it wasn't. And I think you guys earned each other's respect.
Yeah.
From that. So. Yeah.
Well, after that, he dominated me in football, but I always So. When I was playing rec ball, John Boyette is his name. Amazing athlete, amazing person, great at everything he does. Coach comes up to me. Me and my dad are supposed to go back to the Napa County Fair to help my mom, right, with the Nighthawk stuff, right? So this game is to go to the Justin tournament. This is a big game. We're losing. It was Gage Hardy and his dad on that. That was the team with John Boyette. And the coach comes up to me and he says, "Hey, Nick, I just want you, every time you touch the ball, just shoot it. That's it." So we had this guy, Kip Kendall, who my dad coached, one of the best athletes I've ever seen in Napa before. This kid was a beast. He shut down Linden. And so Kip Kendall starts taking the ball in. Every time he took the ball in, he threw it back to me. I hit 3 threes in a row in John Boyette's face to win the game. It was fun playing against professional athletes, just like the way my dad's talking about. But I'm pretty sure he probably got the better of these athletes better than I did.
Well, it was fun. It was a great experience. I love team sports. I love watching people compete, and it's I put assists and rebounds over points because you're actually going to lead to points by doing that. And
one thing I'll commend you for, Dad, is that you were much better than me at something like that, because I was. Man, that's why you were such a good coach. I was such a selfish player. All I cared about was how many points I had. My dad cared about if they won. You know what I mean?
Fucking diva.
I know. I was very. I worried about the records. I worried about the stats. I worried about, did everybody think I played well? That's all I cared about. I didn't care that we lost.
Hey, there's no I.
That's why he likes the Lakers.
There's no I in team, Nick. There's no I in team.
He should have been a field goal kicker.
Yeah. What I will say is my dad didn't teach me that. That was kind of like my own thing. I do remember he would take me to the gym, the middle school gym. We would turn the lights off, and he'd say 500 shots. You remember that? 500 shots.
Yeah.
We're not leaving until you shoot 500 shots.
Look, man, the greatest quote ever is winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. So if you win at any cost, bro, that is what you were. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having that passion for it.
Unfortunately, I would have
in a team sport, you got to share it, man. You got to share it.
Unfortunately, I would have 30 points and we would lose, and I'd go, well, I had 30 points still. Well,
that was the problem. When you're coaching, you have the really good athletes, but you also have the others. So what happens if
you got
if a couple of your athletes get hurt? So you got to make sure that every last man on the team on the bench can come off the bench and perform. And I think we did a pretty good job doing that.
That's good. Otherwise, why are they on the team? If they don't ever play, why are they on the team, right?
But that's what Good said today in his interview.
Well,
they asked him about that. He wants players that can play multiple positions.
Well,
that's what he's looking for.
There is the kid you keep because of the GLM, the good-looking mom. So.
Well, see,
that's why Nick was on the team.
You made the team because your mom, she'd be giving me those eyes, you know what I mean?
Plus the cool moms who came with the food and the best drinks and all that shit.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, my dad, when he stopped coaching me, he had to watch me tackle a bunch of people playing basketball. I was a mean son of a bitch.
Nick.
But let me open it up to the panel. Ask if you guys have any questions for my dad. Go ahead and ask him anything you want. This is someone that was right there, man, and there's just a lot of craziness to his story. You know what I mean?
So you only had the first year. Your only first year it was in Arizona.
Yeah.
And then you had your injury where you were out.
No, he had his injury before Arizona.
Oh,
it happened right after he graduated high school.
He lost his scholarship because he got the injury.
That's what I mean. He lost it, but you had 1 year there at least, is what you're saying, or
yes,
or 1 year under the
okay, yeah,
cool.
Yeah. And
then he was going to go to San Diego State to play.
That sucks.
He was going to play for San Diego State on scholarship. He ended up getting injured in that car accident, and then he transitioned into University of Arizona instead.
Yeah. So it was a good time. We I was very fortunate to go to school there. I met a lot of cool people, and
you didn't want to go to ASU where they have Girls Gone Wild and all that stuff.
No,
bro,
I went for academics.
wild, man. You can find it.
He said, I went there for academics. Okay. Because I'm pretty sure U of A, you have to have a
How old were you?
3.0. I think ASU, you have to have like a 1.5, right? Like,
And how old were you? How old were you?
How old was I?
Yeah.
I was 18.
Oh, see, 18 years old. Oh man, you was looking for girls too. Don't be proud.
Let's talk about this, Dad. When I was growing up as a kid, when I was starting to be pretty good at sports and I started, embellishing and talking shit, my dad would go, you know what I used to do, Nick? He talked about he would hold girls on his arms, on his back, and run up the stairs. Is right?
Yeah, there you go.
Nick. Nick,
on your
I could have been a Hall of Famer, I could have been a Hall of Famer, but then I got high. And
Carry a whole other
Ben Davison did that. He did.
There you go.
So you didn't hold girls on your shoulders?
We would carry people up and down stairs to work on our calves.
Okay.
And our it was a good way to build up your calf muscles.
Quarter barrel one side, quarter barrel the other side, upstairs.
I can only imagine the girls being like, woo, he just carried me up the stairs.
Running the stairs, good cardio.
Good cardio, exactly.
Well, Ken, Isaac, John, do you guys have any questions for this man? I mean,
yeah, was there any players that you grew up, Mr. Green, that basically gave you any advice or, anything that helped you along your own career?
Guidance.
So I even back then when I was a kid, they had like baseball, football camps and stuff. And I did go to a Giants camp and actually had a session with a guy named Chris Spire, who just always he basically told us just keep your head or keep focused, keep your head down, let your ability do the job, don't overthink, and love the game. If you don't love the game, then it's not a game for you. So
what's up, Greg?
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
go Lions.
Yeah. So that was he was and I really enjoyed watching him play. He was the shortstop for the Giants back in the day.
You were a pitcher, you said, right? You were a pitcher?
No, I played outfield.
Oh, outfield.
I was an outfield. I'm left-handed.
What was your batting average? What was your batting average?
I was an athlete. That's why I didn't pitch. So,
didn't you play for one? Didn't you play with one of the most famous Red Sox infielders ever?
Well, that's your Uncle Vern.
Oh, Bill Buckner, right?
Bill Buckner. My brother played with high school. Played high school ball with Bill Buckner.
He was a first baseman.
Well, he was an outfielder. He was a really good outfielder until he got injured. He blew out his ankle when he was with the Dodgers, and then got traded to the Cubs, and then ended up in Boston. He was hobbled by then, but he was a competitor, big time. Just natural. I remember watching him in high school, and just the sound of the ball coming off the bat when he hit it was so much different.
If you guys don't know who Bill Buckner is, he infamously let the ball go through his legs.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about now.
He was playing for the Red Sox against the Mets in the World Series, but unfortunately, that's what a lot of people remember him for. But he won like 1 or 2 batting titles.
Damn.
When he was with the Cubs, so he was a hell of an athlete. He actually got
He can squat, man. He can squat.
He could fly. He actually he got a football scholarship to play at UCLA out of high school, but got drafted by the Dodgers and went pro baseball. So
you guys think baseball's lost its luster? I mean, back in the day, man, my family was 2 sports. It was baseball and football. That was
one thing I will say.
Yeah.
I think viewership has gone down, but when you go to a baseball game in real life, it is awesome.
It's way better. It's way better. I agree. 100%.
Well, it's not like NASCAR. After they did that point system, it seemed like NASCAR went downhill. And and I was like, now football, they're making it more like flag football. Now you got to pay to watch your games. I mean, people are getting sick of it. And I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
I got a lot of friends already don't even watch football because of it.
It's ridiculous. The money, especially in baseball, the money those guys are making.
Mhm.
Guys sitting on the bench is making $2 million a year.
There's this guy named Otani. He's the biggest bitch on the planet. I can't stand him.
Yeah.
Well, see what he
football,
just did?
I don't know about you guys, but you can ask Joe. It'd be nice to be able to go and watch a Raider game in Vegas, but third level you're paying $300.
Yeah.
Oh, that's or $10 for a hot dog and $20.
I paid when I went to Lambeau. I paid $500 a ticket, and we were in the mid-level. Like $500 a ticket. Not only that, like John Dorn likes to point out, there's no hotels. There's nowhere to stay. When there's a Packers game, you're lucky to find anywhere to stay.
You gotta go to Appleton. You gotta go to Appleton and
Stay 30 minutes at a campground, bro. That's right. Just stay.
And you have to pay your taxis. You have to and then we went to Brett Favre's Steakhouse before it closed. $60 a steak, like everything. It's all about money, man.
How
about revenue?
Because you're in your favorite place.
Yeah, well, that's why they don't want to lose a home game. They go to Brazil and all that stuff. They don't want to lose a home game. They can't lose that revenue.
It's an away game for us, though. Luckily.
Yeah.
So we got 4 minutes left. Let's go ahead and let's go around the horn. Isaac, what should we do on draft day? Thursday is draft day. We're gonna be live for 2 hours. We have a whole segment on draft day. Roku TV, baby.
Where are they doing the draft this year?
Detroit.
Lions.
Next year's Green Bay. We're all going.
They're gonna ruin it. Botch
Very
it.
cool.
They're gonna ruin it somehow. They're making all these signs like, "Hey, this is where the draft is. This is Detroit." It's like you guys are trying too hard, man.
They got Aiden Hutchinson as their spokesman.
Isaac, who should we draft?
Bunch of quarterbacks. No, I'm kidding. I'd say
First round.
Cooper DeJean. You know what I mean?
Dijon Mustard.
Dijon Mustard.
Get Cooper. Well, by any means necessary.
Kool-Aid
If we can't
chicken,
get Cooper,
somebody, bro.
get Latu.
Okay. What about you, Ken? Oh, Ken just shook his head. He was like, "Isaac, get the fuck out of here." Go ahead, Ken.
I'm totally on board with Cooper. That's what I'm hoping for.
Dijon Mustard.
I'm hoping we're trading up with Seattle at 16 to make sure we get this bitch. But if we don't get him, instead of Latu, I want McKinney.
Okay.
Give us some Kool-Aid.
Okay. Go ahead, John Dorn.
I want Cooper DeJean, but if not, then I want
calling him DeJean. I know that's what he said how it's pronounced, but it's Dijon Mustard.
Dijon Mustard, bro. Dijon Mustard.
Yeah, I won't mind getting Kool-Aid.
Oh, damn! You took mine. God damn it. All right, Rob, go ahead.
Bro, I'm on board. I want Cooper. I want DeJean. I'm telling
Dijon.
you. Dijon Mustard!
On this show, it's Dijon.
Bro, I want him. I want us to move up to get him. Because that's what it's going to take. We're going to have to move up to get him.
All right. Dad, your dream scenario for the Raiders, who do you want?
Who do I want? I would, if we can move up, I do love that kid from LSU.
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels. I think he could be our quarterback for a few years, which would be nice.
I still say you guys trade for Clifford. Good saying.
Yeah, that's not it's not a bad scenario. Yeah, but we've been known to screw it up, and
he's already quarterback ready, man. We
all know that.
Jaden Daniels is the way to go. Oh, Darcy, I agree with you. I'm going to go ahead before we end the show. I'm going to agree with John Dorn. I actually would rather get Kool-Aid because we can get Dijon in the second round. He actually might fall to the better. Yes, he actually might. Yes, he will. Watch.
I think it's the opposite way. I think Kool-Aid's going to fall.
This is why Ken is not allowed on my show anymore. You have your own.
He was dropping his kitchen.
I want Kool-Aid. I would love to have that third cornerback and get Stokes the fuck out of here.
He won't go. No, they'll keep Stokes, man.
This is the end of our show, though. Thank you, everybody, for watching the Frozen Tundra Network. Thank you, everybody that was here. Thank you to my dad for giving that amazing story. Go, Pack, go, baby.
See-